Heyo everybody, Uncle here with my review for Boku no Hero Academia Season 3, Episode 24, the penultimate episode. We only have one more left in the season, I believe, pretty sure it's 25, just like last season. But I was expecting this one to be good, because as I usually say, just to preface things, kind of. I have read the manga, but I don't bring up anything from manga spoilers. Here, I might refer to characters by name, but I'm not going to give away their quirks or anything about their characters. I'm just going to use their names to refer to them, probably. So it doesn't really spoil anything. So just wanted to say that to let you know that even though I've read, definitely not going to spoil you on anything. But I like this kind of introduction stuff, this transitioning into a new archetype stuff. So I thought that this was going to be a good episode that I'd like, but they ended up making it a lot better than I even thought they would. So again, yeah, whenever it is adapted from a manga to an anime better than what I would expect them to do, it's always a good feeling, really, knowing that they put care into making this right. And I love, too, that what we got to see was Izuku kind of taking a backseat a little bit and getting to focus on some more characters that we don't see that often. So it felt very fresh and new and different. And it just gives us this fresh new feeling of moving into a new arc from what we were doing, and the season's going to end on us, and we're going to have to wait. Well, we don't really have to wait that long, like 6 months until the next season. So it's not that much, but still. So the first half of this, we saw the story of society and how it's changed since All Might retiring, but the story of society is told through Bubaigo Arajin, or it's told from Twice's point of view, which I really like, his perspective, and not only developing his character and personality and his perspective and learning so much more about Jean as a character, but in addition to that, in addition to developing his character, we got to see it from a different side than what the heroes are looking at when they look at how society is changing. So basically, what he's thinking and what he notes that the one newscaster is saying is that it's not society's strength eroding, it's the strength of their heart. And it's because Endeavor isn't exactly popular with everyone like All Might was. He has his fans, but he just isn't a symbol like All Might. And Jean brings up, he's like, who would want to be the symbol of weakening heroes? So he goes outside, the reservoir dogs rob this convenience store or whatever, and they're basically used to show that the heroes are going after the villains, but the villains are teaming up. They're outnumbering the heroes now, and that's how they're getting away with things. So again, it's a clever way to show in what's happening with society as a greater whole. But Jean is thinking to himself, these aren't the kind of guys we need, so it kind of implies that he's looking for guys to join the League of Villains. And he makes an analogy to the teaming up thing that I thought was really good, where he's like, if we all try, basically like walking on red across a crosswalk. He's like, if we all walk on red at the same time, it's not really scary, because you're moving in that big a group. So that was a really, really good analogy to use. Giran then calls him to ask about Dabi, and there is a lot of depth here and a lot of detail and subtlety in the way that the two of them talk, in the way that he's kind of he almost seems like he's being really nice to Twice because of his mental state, and he's kind of like, also, it's in a devious sort of way. It feels like he's being nice, but in a devious sort of way, where he's just playing to what works for him in conversation. We see all the phones and laptops on the table, showing more of how Giran is just this broker. He deals the illegal suits and other goods to villains. So this was a really good conversation that I really like the depth in it. Twice covers his face to keep from splitting apart. We see Dabi killing thugs looking for new allies and saying, common street criminals aren't what we need. So again, showing that all of them have separated, split apart, and they're looking for people to join the League of Villains with them. They're looking for allies. Then We have Twice's backstory, which is one of my favorite backstories in the series, where he once had a gang of clones of himself, and they went off doing petty crimes. And then, after a while, each of them hated the rest of them, or, well, hated the me who was claiming to be the leader of them. So, over the course of 9 days, they all killed each other until only the current Twice was left. And what messes with him mentally is that he has this constant crisis where he doesn't know if he's real. He doesn't know if he's the real him. And he brings up that heroes only save the good. Heroes wouldn't have, if his quirk got him into his own mess committing crimes, heroes wouldn't have been there to save him. So he works with the League of Villains because they accepted him for who he is, and because he himself wants to accept himself for who he is, and he thinks he can if he works with the League. So it's really, really deep. Well, it's really a deep and detailed look at his character and how he thinks and what his motivations are. So I really like that we got this just randomly out of nowhere for Twice. So there's all that, and then we get to see the Reservoir Dogs taken out in a pretty gruesome fashion by Chisaki, who was called Overhaul here, and I'm probably going to go with actual names instead of like hero or villain names when possible, because that would kind of be spoilery. But yeah, we have our first look at Chisaki, Kurono, Rikiya, and Nemoto, so it's cool seeing those four already. And I don't think we're going to see any more villains this season, but I don't know if we'll see any more villains this season or not. I don't think we are, but it'd be cool if we did next episode. I'd actually be really excited for that. Then going from the commercial break there, we spend the rest of the episode on the hero side of the coin. So we get the opening ceremony where all of Class B beforehand, Monoma gloats that they have all passed and got their provisional licenses, so they in some way have moved past Class A. We have Pony, who is really cute here, and Monoma trying to teach her bad phrases. I think the subs they used weren't that vulgar or anything, but I think it's more like, I'm gonna kick your ass, or something more vulgar like that, which is why Kendo was like, don't teach her to say bad things. So again, really funny scenes, and funny scenes they had with Kirishima here too, with Todoroki taking things too personally, like, we've fallen behind, it's all my fault. So there were a lot of funny scenes they did there. We see Shinso has gotten buff, kind of. Nezu is giving the speech at the assembly, and Nezu is so great. He just talks a lot about his fur and not getting stressed out and getting enough sleep. So all of that was really good. He mentions interns, and it's translated, you can hear him say hero interns in like katakana really, but then they translate it in the subs as work study. So we learn a little bit more about that later in the episode, and you'll see through context how that develops in the future. But we have a flashback to Nezu telling All Might to come work as a teacher there because he has kind of an idea for a successor. We meet guidance counselor Hound Dog, and Hound Dog's running gag of him being so angry that he can't speak human speech or remember human speech is really funny, and Mineta brings it up. But this is the first time, actually, I think, that we've seen Hound Dog we may have seen him, like, maybe at the sports festival or something in the background, but I think this is the first time we've really seen Hound Dog in the anime. So that was great, and I love how, after he just mumbles on in half-human speech, Vlad King comes up and says what he meant to say, and everyone's like, why was Hound Dog even here? So that was great. We have Nejire and Mirio talking to each other, our first real looks at them, just from behind. Then we go back to the classroom. We've got Aizawa explaining the work study stuff, kind of, and to kind of get what they're trying to say here without going into anything spoilery, it's kind of like being an unpaid sidekick. It's really an internship with a hero, except not just like the little 1 week internship, because Aizawa said that it's on the students themselves to go and seek it out and do it. So because of that, it's like an actual internship where they have to go and find a hero and convince them to somehow bring them on as an intern or whatever. Either that or get actually chosen because they have connections and now have a license to be an intern somewhere. Or I guess there's probably just openings at some hero offices or something. But either way, it's kind of being able to work as a sidekick, doing official hero things on a more, not really permanent, but on a more long-term basis. And like Aizawa said, the students have to do it on their own. That's why Uraraka was like, well then what was the point of the sports festival? He brings up you have to do it on your own. So if you didn't do well in the sports festival and didn't get a good internship then, you probably don't really know any or many pro heroes to be able to find somebody to get you a work-study internship here. So it was to make connections with these groups so that they know these pro heroes now, and they can either go back to those pro heroes if they'll accept them, or maybe get those pro heroes to help them find somebody who'll accept them. So it's cool that they have a system like that that's more on the students and what they want to do. It lets us see the students become more independent as heroes in a way. Then Izuku, after just a single day, missing the first day of the semester, he feels so left out because everybody's talking about classes and work studies out of context and he has no idea what's going on. Mirio then came to surprise him and see him because everyone's been talking about him, and I thought when I heard Mirio's voice, all the voice acting choices here were so good. We got to hear Kurano and Chisaki speak, and I liked both of their voices. The voice acting work done by Twice, his voice actor was really, really well done here. So all that was great. And then at the end, yeah, Izuku and Katsuki, the song that I figured was going to be used last episode for the fight, was used for the introduction of the Big Three for whatever reason, and we get to see them for the first time. That's where the episode ends, and it was so good. The animation was great as usual, and honestly more detailed than it really had to be for more of an info dump kind of episode. I love the voice actor choices for the new characters, and the voice acting of the old characters was great. Twice was really awesome. I really like seeing his story, and this backstory took him from, I didn't really like Twice much before. I was like, he's just a cheap cloning Deadpool, but then this backstory really made me love his character, and his character moving on forward from here, I have loved Twice's character. So I think this was a really good episode for him. And yeah, it was just, there were no real breaks or slow parts. It was constant information and development, new characters being introduced, and I just thought it was great overall. I loved the episode and I had so much fun watching it. So because of that, I'm going to give it a really, really good score. I'd give it like 9.5 school assemblies out of 10. Really good score because I had a lot of fun watching this one. And I'm excited for the finale. And then we got our 6-month wait, but the wait'll be worth it because I'll be excited for season 4. Gotta give them a break so that we get this kind of quality when we do get a new season. So yeah, I'm happy with what we got, and I'm happy to wait for what's coming in the future, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you enjoyed my video on it. So I guess like if you did like the video, and comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode and what you thought of my thoughts on it. Subscribe for more Boku no Hero Academia, both anime and manga. Like I've said before too, I try to stay as spoiler free as possible when I make my thumbnails and my titles for the manga videos. Try to be as spoiler free as possible so I don't ruin anything for you anime only watchers. If you want to as well, you can follow on Twitter, and I'll try to talk to you, or I'll keep you updated there and stuff for the channel, but I can talk to you there too if you want. Or if you want to talk to me or more of us on the Discord server, just ask and I'll give you a link. On Discord and on Twitter, I generally try to be spoiler free for Boku no Hero Academia 2, less stringently as I am on YouTube, but I generally try to be spoiler free there too, at least when it comes to anything serious, of course, except for in the manga section for the Discord. But either way, that's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.